Imagine you are in the forest, in a pine tree forest, and you breathe this fresh air. Pine trees everywhere. Just follow the pine trees. Pine tree in Korea is not only a tree, it is much more than that. It is a friend, a national symbol, and also the source of delicious food. That's what we are going to look for today in our tasty trail in Korea. And I'm going to go first to a place called Yangyang. It's a city in the Gangwon province where there is a very famous festival, a festival dedicated to the Songi bosot, the pine tree mushroom. I'm sure that there we can get much more information about the pine tree food. Okay, here we are. That's the place I was looking for. 안녕하세요. Oh, that's the hero of the festival. 안녕하세요. The Songi bosot, the pine mushroom. 맛봐도 돼요?
드셔보시고.
오, 예, 고맙습니다.
어떤 맛이 향이 좋죠?
Wow, very good. Very, very good. Look at that. That's the pine tree mushroom. It's a beautiful mushroom, and the taste is. 한 번 또 시식해도 될까요?
네,
Oh, there is a kind of peppery smell. Super extra quality. Wow, beautiful pieces. And this is almost like a luxury item. 혹시 시식할 수 있을까요?
예.
아, 예. 와.
육질이 일단 단단하지 않습니다.
단단하고 그다음에 향이 와. Well, it's like I have nothing else to say. That imagine you are in the forest, in a pine tree forest, and you breathe this fresh air coming from the sea, and you have like this gorgeous flavor in your mouth. It's like eating the forest itself. Look at the price. Huh? You see, it's a quite expensive mushroom. Wow, a giant nungi bosot. It's huge. And this one, wow, really beautiful. 이게 뭡니까? 노루궁덩이. Oh, that's a beautiful name. It's like a deer fur mushroom because it looks like the fur of a deer. Very nice flavor. Very, very nice flavor. Okay, I think that's the place for the application. Hello. Yes, you know, I like to apply to the mushroom harvesting experience or program. I've been told that there is something like that.
Oh, I'm signing up for that.
Already?
Yes.
So,
You could come with me if you'd like.
Oh, I love to because I'm by myself actually, so I guess it's better to do it together if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind. I'm alone as well.
Okay, but nice to meet you. I'm Benjamin.
I'm Judith.
Okay.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, 감사합니다. Okay, so what do I have to do?
We go this way.
선생님 또 많이 올라가야 될까요?
예, 조금 더 올라가야 됩니다.
아, 그래요?
힘드시면 조금만 더 올라가시죠. 여기 맞네요. 여기 하나가 있는 게 아니라. 자, 한번 보세요.
와,
오.
Judith, look. 1, 2, here.
Wow.
와우. 선생님 어떻게 탑니까?
예, 요 작대기를 송이 가까이에다가
가까이?
꽂으세요. 좀
예.
45도 각도로 하셔가지고
예.
살짝 누르셔요. 손으로 요 대, 요 간 말고 밑에
예.
대를 이렇게 살짝 잡으세요.
여기 밑에.
예.
다리.
예, 꾹 누르셔가지고 여기서 이걸 싹 드세요.
예.
예.
아, 오케이. I see.
냄새 맡아보세요.
And that's
Look at that. Have a smell. Oh.
Yeah, it does smell like pine.
So do you want to try to pick it up?
Yes. Let's try.
예, 어느 정도
Yeah.
넣고, 예. 예.
Okay. Wow.
지금 여기 보시면 여기가 그 소나무 뿌리입니다. 가는 뿌리. 그리고 요 하얀 게 균사예요.
예.
그 균사들이 이렇게 덩어리가 맺혀져 가지고 거기서 이제 버섯이 이렇게 올라오는 겁니다. 요 이런 소나무 뿌리가 없으면 송이는 생길 수가 없죠. 그래서 여기 소나무 뿌리에서 영양분을 얻고 야가 큽니다. 그런 땅 속에 있는 저 수분이라든가 무기 영양을 이 송이가 빨아가지고 소나무 뿌리를 통해서 소나무한테 제공해요. 그래서 서로 공생관계, 서로 영양분을 주고 받고 해서 공생관계를 한답니다.
It smells fantastic. Can we eat it?
Oh, I guess. Yeah. 이거 혹시 시식할 수 있을까요?
예, 여기서 당장 먹을 수 있습니다.
아, 그래요?
찢어지죠. 어우, 뭐.
And eat?
예,
먹어봐도 될까요?
먹어도 됩니다.
예. 고맙습니다. 작은 거 먹을게요.
Wow. That is an intense flavor.
와우. 와우.
송이는 3번 먹어야 됩니다. 눈으로 한번 보고요. 그래서
네.
먹고, 코로 냄새 맡아서 먹고, 다음에 입으로 먹어야 3번을 먹는 겁니다. 송이는
We did
3번 먹어야
3
돼요.
times. Eyes, nose, and then finally the mouth.
네.
Okay, you know what? With the mushrooms we got, we should go to a restaurant and have them with something else, like let's say some beef, because I've heard it's a perfect match.
Sounds delicious.
The Hanu Korean beef with the mushroom, with the Songi bosot. We were lucky anyway to get these mushrooms. Do you like beef?
I love
You
beef.
love,
I'm
okay.
very excited to eat the mushroom and the beef together.
You see? Is it
Yeah.
enough for you?
Yeah, that's
Yeah?
fine. That's
Okay.
perfect.
Let's try together because I've been told that the Songi mushroom is perfect with pork or beef, especially beef. It's a perfect match. I'm not surprised because that's the way also we have mushrooms a lot in France. Mushrooms and meat.
And steak, yeah, the same.
Steak. The same in Canada?
Same in Canada. We generally have a lot of mushroom meat dishes because they just complement each other. Thank you very much.
Now we are in Korea, so let's try Korean style, the pine mushroom with the steak together.
The two textures.
Yeah. So what's your impression, frankly speaking?
Maybe I need to put a little bit of salt on it.
I agree.
I think there's something I
I
want a
think
little bit
salt
more.
would help to express
Bring out the flavors.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what we need? You know there is something missing on this table. What is it? Alcohol. Yeah. 술 한 병 주시겠어요? 예, 고맙습니다. Oh, look at that. I'm sure you already know what we are going to have.
Pine mushroom wine. Cheers.
Cheers.
I think it's better the second time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I like it. I
Yeah.
like it. Okay, I got good information here. I have the phone number of a professor specialized in food and nutrition. So I'm going to contact him and try to get an appointment. 여보세요? 예, 아니요. 이원정 교수님 부탁합니다. 네, 이따 뵙겠습니다. 예, 고맙습니다. Okay, we have an appointment in a good, very good restaurant. He said he knows a place where we could have dinner together and he would explain me a lot about the pantry food and the pantry mushroom. So let's go now. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
Excuse me. Are you Dr. Lee?
Yeah, yes.
Yes. Oh, sorry to be so late. I had a lot of trouble finding the place, actually. Nice to meet you. I'm Benjamin.
Yeah.
Shall I sit here?
Yeah, please sit here.
Wow, look at that. 와, 여기 송이버섯은
여기
보니까
지금 여기 송이 산적이
산적,
있고 그다음에
예.
이제 송이국.
이거 처음 보는데 그 이런 국은.
송이국.
예.
진짜.
와, seems delicious. 씹는
네.
질감이 있어요. 그대로
질감은
있어요.
약간 질기지 않고
예,
소프트하면서.
네. No, it's not soaky. It's not mushy. Still interesting to chew. That's a very good dish. Like a traditional. I've heard it's a traditional 한가위 or 추석 dish. And I'm curious. I would like to try this 산적.
산적. Yeah.
You want to try this one?
Yes, yes. It has 송이버섯 and red pepper, onions, and the beef. Good match. It's very good match because
good match,
송이
yeah.
has vitamin B1 and B2 and
Yeah.
vitamin D, and these vegetables has vitamin C. Also, meat, no vitamin, no vitamin C, so they are good match.
Oh, interesting.
Interesting.
So that's why it's a good match with the meat, because in
Yeah.
the meat you don't have dietary fibers, and you have a lot of calories, a lot of
Yes,
proteins.
Also, this one cholesterol free.
Wow, that's good food.
And the
then
trace
for me.
amount of fat, so it's good.
Pine tree is very close to Korean people because you have this tree all around Korea. And also, most of the time close to every house in the countryside. So it's part of the traditional landscape. So you have this closeness to the people. Actually, it's a very special tree which can grow in very hard conditions. So it's a symbol of the hardships that the Korean people have been through and also of overcoming these hardships. It's also an evergreen tree, which is green during the 4 seasons. So it's a symbol of constancy, of longevity, and also of fidelity. So it shows how much this pine tree is a very, very, very important symbol in our Korean culture. 성어는 그 소나무 향 나는 물고기라고 들었어요.
네.
그래서 이 양시장에 좀 아주 유명하다고 들었는데 그래서 그것 때문에 왔거든요.
네. 아, 여기는 그 운이 좋아서 그런지요.
네.
그 땅속에서 물이 이렇게 솟아오르는 샘물이에요.
예.
기계의 힘을, 그러니까 전기의 힘을 빌리지 않고
예.
자연스럽게 땅속에서 솟아나오는 것.
예.
그 물을 이용해서 이제 송어 양식을 하고 있죠. 오, 차차차.
Wow, look at that. Look at that. Wow, beautiful. Wow, so big and strong. Really looks like a salmon. Wow, they are big.
이게 그 식용으로 쓰이는 송어예요.
아, 예.
네. 한
와.
1년 반 자랐죠. 1년 반에서
1년 반.
1년 8개월 지금. 아이고, 이거 너무 셌어. 보세요. 보세요. 아이고. 옆줄에 무지갯빛이 많이 나 있죠.
네.
그리고 이 송어가요, 성질이 급하고
예.
산소를 많이 필요로 하기 때문에
예.
요 정도 이렇게 꺼내놔도 지쳐요.
아, 예.
죽으려고 해요. 그래서 물속에 빠일러져 이게. 그래서 이거는 산소량이 상당히 많이 필요로 하는 좀 까다로운 고기예요.
까다로운 거죠.
그래서 이제 귀족고기라고 하죠. 민물고기의 귀족.
예. Tasting time. So now we are going to see directly the reason why this fish, the trout, in Korean language is called songo. Songo means the fish which is like a pine tree, or the pine tree fish. Why? In the past, in old books, it says that the taste of trout is like the pine tree flavor. But there is another reason. If we look at old Korean books, there is another explanation. They say that the flesh of the trout looks like a pine nut. Whatever is the reason, we have to taste it anyway. Indeed, the fish doesn't have a fish smell, a fish taste. Instead, I have in my mouth the strong flavor of something like herbs, or it's more like a plant flavor. It's a gorgeous flavor, which is more like a plant flavor. That's quite interesting for a fish. Extra fresh. In Europe, we love also the trout this way, grilled, baked in the oven, or seared, pan-fried. And in France, you know, we serve it with the meunière sauce, a sauce meunière, which is a creamy lemon butter sauce, on top of which You know, it's a fish which is all this kind of Salmonidae, this kind of salmon family fishes are rich in oil, but it's a very healthy oil which brings a lot of very important elements to your body without bringing too much fat. There is something very fresh in this fish. I prefer it to salmon. For me, salmon is too oily, too fat. This is much more refined, and this freshness, I think, goes very well with this environment. And on our trail, looking for the pine tree and pine tree flavor, I think it was a very good match. Quite interesting, surprising, because I knew the trout, I knew the name in Korean language, but I didn't know it was linked to the, I didn't realize it was linked to the pine tree. I had to come to this place. This is a famous temple called Naksan Temple. It's close to the Yangyang city. It's very, very famous because it was built like 1,300 years ago. The reason why I wanted to come to a temple, it's because usually monks have special teas, and especially they have a delicious pine needle tea. So we are going to go around and try to find a monk to ask him if we can have this tea. Let's go. 스님 이거의 솔잎차죠?
네.
예. 근데 보니까 여기 두 가지 있는 것 같은데?
요거는 그 잎을
네.
따서 말려서 솔잎 차로
예.
요 다관에 넣어서 드시는 거고
예.
이 같은 경우는 소나무와 를 채취를 해서
예.
소나무를 넣고 그 위에 설탕을 넣으면
네.
그 이제 물이 이렇게 빠져나와요. 그게
예.
이제 지금 보시는 것처럼 이렇게 노란 엑기스가 이렇게 완성이 되는 거예요.
예.
이 엑기스 요대로 드시면 안 되고 물에
네.
해석을 해서 차갑게 드시기도 하고 여름에는
예.
겨울에는 또 따뜻하게 해서 드시면은
예.
피로 회복도 되고
네.
몸에 상당히 좋습니다.
마셔도 될까요?
네, 한번 드셔보세요.
예.
양이 맞는지 모르겠어요. 향이 나요?
예.
향이 많이
시원하고 맑은
네,
맛인데.
머리를 맑게 해주고. 네.
Not sweet at all. Very, very fresh. We're very clear. Very, I don't know. There is something transparent in that taste, and that's really nice. I'm sure that you have understood the role, the importance of the pine tree in Korean culture. Not only in the culture, but also in the food. And we have a lot of products around the pine tree, which were interesting to discover today, like the trout or the pine tree mushroom, the Songi. Now it's time to say goodbye, and we'll meet again on the tasty trail in Korea. Bye-bye. As you see, when we cook the songpyeon, we cook them on a bed of pine needles. So the steam goes through the needles and cooks the songpyeon. It's going to give some flavor, but there is another one. Actually, in the pine needles, you have a lot of very important ingredients. One of them is a special bacteria which kills the other bad bacteria and microbes. So it avoids the songpyeon or the rice cake to rot, and then you can keep it for a longer time.